Enzo Ferrari was not born into wealth, fame, or success. Long before Ferrari became a symbol of luxury, speed, and prestige, Enzo was simply a young boy growing up in Modena, Italy, with an obsession that would eventually change the automotive world forever. As a child, he attended a motor race with his father, and the experience left him mesmerized. The thunder of engines, the courage of the drivers, and the excitement of competition sparked a dream that would define the rest of his life. He wanted to dedicate himself to racing. However, life quickly became far more difficult than he could have imagined. World War I brought tragedy to his family. His father died, and shortly afterward, his brother also passed away. The losses left Enzo devastated and struggling to find direction in a chaotic world. After serving in the military, he searched desperately for employment. One of his biggest disappointments came when Fiat rejected his application. For many people, that rejection would have been the end of the dream. For Enzo Ferrari, it became fuel. Determined to stay connected to automobiles, he eventually secured work as a test driver and mechanic. Every day he learned more about engines, performance, and the rapidly evolving world of motorsport. His passion soon led him to competitive racing, where he demonstrated talent behind the wheel. Yet as time passed, Enzo discovered something important. His true gift wasn't driving race cars. It was building racing teams. He possessed a rare ability to identify talent, organize operations, and inspire people toward a common goal. This realization changed everything. During the 1920s, Enzo became increasingly involved with Alfa Romeo, one of Italy's most respected automotive companies. Through hard work and dedication, he earned the trust of influential figures within the organization. His responsibilities expanded, and he gained valuable insight into both racing and business. In 1929, he founded Scuderia Ferrari, a racing team created to support amateur drivers competing with Alfa Romeo cars. What started as a small operation quickly gained recognition. Enzo approached every challenge with relentless determination. He recruited skilled drivers, built strong partnerships, and demanded excellence from everyone involved. His philosophy was simple. Second place was merely the first loser. Victory was the standard. Under his leadership, Scuderia Ferrari achieved impressive results, establishing itself as a respected force in Italian motorsport. Yet, behind the growing success were countless sacrifices. Enzo often worked long hours, placing racing above almost every aspect of his personal life. Friends and family sometimes struggled to understand his obsession, but he believed greatness required total commitment. As Europe moved toward another devastating conflict, tensions within the automotive industry intensified. Relationships between Enzo and Alfa Romeo became increasingly complicated. Although the partnership had brought success, differences in vision began to emerge. Enzo wanted more independence and greater control over his future. The disagreements eventually reached a breaking point. In 1939, he left Alfa Romeo and signed an agreement preventing him from using the Ferrari name in racing for several years. For most people, such restrictions would have seemed impossible to overcome. Yet Enzo viewed obstacles differently. Every setback was an opportunity to build something stronger. Forced to start over, he founded Auto Avio Costruzioni and continued developing automobiles despite the limitations placed upon him. Then World War II disrupted Europe once again. Factories were damaged, resources became scarce, and uncertainty dominated daily life. During these difficult years, Enzo's dream seemed farther away than ever. But even amid destruction and hardship, he refused to abandon his vision. He believed that one day he would create a car bearing his own name. A car that would represent speed, excellence, and uncompromising performance. He could not know exactly when that day would arrive, but he knew it would come. The hardships of war, rejection, and personal sacrifice had only strengthened his resolve. The foundation of Ferrari was being built, not through luxury or wealth, but through resilience, determination, and an unshakable belief in a dream. The world had not yet seen the birth of Ferrari, but the stage was finally set for one of the greatest automotive stories ever told. The end of World War II left much of Europe in ruins. Cities were rebuilding, industries were struggling, and uncertainty remained everywhere. Yet for Enzo Ferrari, this period represented a new beginning. The restrictions that had prevented him from using the Ferrari name were finally ending. After years of waiting, he was ready to create the company he had always envisioned. In 1947, Ferrari unveiled its first official car, the Ferrari 125S. Powered by a V12 engine, it was unlike anything Enzo's small team had produced before. Although the company lacked the resources of larger manufacturers, Enzo had something even more valuable: an uncompromising commitment to excellence. He believed every Ferrari should deliver extraordinary performance. Luxury was important, but speed came first. Racing remained the heart of everything he did. In fact, Enzo often viewed road cars as a way to fund his true passion, motorsport. The early years were far from easy. Ferrari faced constant financial pressure. Building high-performance automobiles required significant investment, and sales were limited. Some months the company struggled simply to survive. Yet Enzo refused to compromise his standards. While competitors focused on mass production, Ferrari concentrated on creating exceptional machines. This strategy attracted wealthy enthusiasts who wanted something unique. Word began spreading across Europe about the remarkable cars emerging from Maranello. As Ferrari's reputation grew, so did its success on the racetrack. Victories became powerful marketing tools. Every win reinforced the brand's image as a symbol of performance and prestige. By the 1950s, Ferrari had become one of the most respected names in motorsport. However, success brought new challenges. Racing was dangerous, and tragedy was never far away. Drivers risked their lives every time they entered a competition. Fatal accidents were tragically common during this era, and Ferrari teams experienced their share of heartbreak. Enzo developed a reputation for emotional distance, leading some critics to describe him as cold and ruthless. Yet those who knew him understood that the losses affected him deeply. He simply chose not to display his emotions publicly. The pressure of maintaining Ferrari's success weighed heavily on him. Despite these challenges, Ferrari continued growing. The company's road cars became increasingly desirable among wealthy buyers. Owning a Ferrari was no longer just about transportation. It was about status, achievement, and exclusivity. Celebrities, business leaders, and racing enthusiasts all wanted to be associated with the prancing horse. Yet perhaps the most famous chapter of Ferrari's history emerged from an unexpected rivalry. In the early 1960s, Enzo Ferrari explored the possibility of selling his company. Negotiations began with the American automotive giant Ford. For a time, it appeared a deal would be reached. However, Enzo ultimately rejected the agreement after disagreements over control of Ferrari's racing operations. The decision infuriated Ferrari's winning streak. Although the defeat was painful, it demonstrated the immense influence Ferrari had at billions of dollars and remains one of the most powerful luxury brands on Earth. Its logo is recognized in nearly every country. Its cars command